So now timed exclusivity is basically PlayStation's own moniker, or everybody's moniker, because remember when the timed exclusivity ruse started to pretty much get unveiled with Sifu going from Epic Games exclusive, right, and PlayStation exclusive to then flying everywhere and jumping into Game Pass to, get a breath of fresh air. Remember when Kenna Bridge of Spirits also found its way on Xbox? Remember when the game Godfall, which was a launch PlayStation 5 console exclusive, and its developers basically, had to close up shop? Many people aren't talking about this stuff as to how much the detrimental effects of so-called exclusivity can be to a game. And Godfall was a co-op game. That was the worst part. The developers were making a game, to pretty much serve a limited audience. Audience number one, PlayStation 5. The console had barely even come out, and it already was touting a console exclusive. Apparently, when they shut down, and I hate this shutdown talk, they did so quietly. Nobody even knew. Nobody is saying anything about it. Vicky Blade writes about it here on GamesIndustry.biz. It says, Godfall developer Counterplay has reportedly shut down. While it's not formally confirmed by the studio, PlayStation Lifestyle allegedly spotted and verified a post on LinkedIn that stated the studio has disbanded after a partnership with Jackalyptic fell through. Over the past 6 months or so, our project at Jackalyptic has been supercharged by the world-class devs at Counterplay Games, the statement began. It's impossible to overstate their impact from the very first day they put their shoulders to the wheels like it was their baby. Unfortunately, we weren't able to continue our partnership into the new year. Counterplay Games was disbanded. It concluded before sharing profiles of those impacted by the changes. The post has since been edited to erase mention of the closure. It's unclear how many people were impacted by this. Y'all have to remember that these guys, they got backing from Gearbox. They made that game, right? And the game was exclusive. It had its issues. I think it was an Epic Games exclusive, if I remember very correctly. So again, if y'all are not going to talk about these particular issues and all you want to talk about is the so-called allure, right, of games, allure of exclusives, then you have to realize and you have to understand that it's not going to convince anybody that you actually have a case to make, as the exact case that you're making is basically bodying developers into oblivion. So when everybody sees an exclusive, they're like, okay, when they're ready to collect my money because the market is speaking. Charlie Brown, shout out to you, asks and says, to the Gaming Ledger's question, console exclusive, whatever happened to true exclusives? Because when I posted this, right, from Oliver Darko, where he was talking about Helldivers 2 not mentioning, Steam on their ads, I said, so we can now throw away all that removal of KPI nonsense, am I right? Because silent money is money. Gaming Ledger said, why? It's just not a strategic pillar for them. It once was, and now it's no longer a focus, which is not true. Hours later, Death Stranding 2 gets announced to be going to PC. PlayStation published game. If PlayStation publishes it, do you know what happens? Oh yes, they get money from publishing it on PC. Of course, it's a publishing venture. It's designed for them to get money. I don't know any gaming publisher unless, of course, somebody else publishes it on PC. I'm sure PlayStation is going to want that. They're going to want a piece of that. And I reminded them. I said, Marathon is running playtests for everyone. I don't remember telling anyone, which is basically PlayStation, that multi-platform was a strategic pillar. Can you point me to where they indicated this? And he said, yeah, and gas games you spread the field with. Look at even Death Stranding 2. It's not an ESRB. It's got an ESRB rating. That means it will come out sometime in the future. Astrobot, nowhere to be found. That's a game that was made by one of their own studios, not Kojima Productions, not Arrowhead. So now they want to selectively tweak it. Oh, well, it's live service. My guy, we have single-player development studios on PC. Stop it. I said, I can't even learn the entire Mortal Kombat 1 roster in 2 years properly, not to talk about a second run of Jedi Survivor. I've got like 100 free games on Epic Games, including Death Stranding 1 that I haven't touched. No one is hurting for content. This reality is the sure death of exclusivity, death to FOMO. You said, that's fine, but that doesn't make it not an exclusive. It's a timed one on PC and console exclusives for now. Many people don't want a game on a PC. Who cares where they want a game? I don't care. The Xbox gamers are buying the Death Stranding Collective Edition for very cheap later down the road, and they have games to play. Death Stranding can take its time for the Xbox gamer and the Steam gamer and anybody. We're not hurting. No one is hurting for games. You need that launch money. All this nonsense is about to really, really flip upside of its head. You said many don't want to game on PC. Many want the game day one, and many will just buy the hardware. They know will have almost everything day one. Well, we also bought the hardware on our end that we felt will have almost everything day one. And the Xbox gamer also bought the hardware that they know will have almost everything on day one. How many games did Xbox drop in this 2025 calendar cycle? So please don't even give me that. Don't even try to even come out here. You said PlayStation doesn't seem to view PC as a direct competition. You see how they're going? You see how they're making modifications to all of this? They don't view PC as a competition, but somehow Xbox, Microsoft, who basically runs the entire PC economy, will view PC as a competitor. These guys have basically given me every single recourse to not even bother with them. At this point in time, I'm just going to be tinkering and gaming and making videos on tinkering and gaming and stuff. And once in a while, if anything amazes me, I'll come out here and tell you guys. This has got to be the wildest thing I've ever seen because it's always different for PlayStation. There has to be the difference. They don't want Kojima Productions, so I fully expected this to happen. With the China Hero and India projects, PlayStation is essentially acting as a publisher. So wider platform releases are always on the table. Of course, the games and service too. You're already putting qualifiers because you know those games are going to hit PC day one, else they have basically no hope. These PlayStation cats don't buy games like y'all make it out to seem. You guys are over here doing all this, collective nonsense, and you think anybody actually believes this. No one does, bro. No one does. You guys are over here pretty much making all of this so-called claims, and you think somewhere, somehow, that anybody believes this? Nobody believes this, bro. Nobody believes this. You all are pretty much so funny, man. At the end of the day, I can't imagine how anybody would take any of this stuff seriously from y'all because you're adding qualifiers everywhere. 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 Anyways, it's so funny to see that they're going ahead to say, oh, the single-player games aren't going to be going to Xbox. My guy, the single-player games don't make them as much money as the live service games. Priorities first. Priorities first. For instance, Gaming Legend replied. He says, when did I not maintain that energy? Dude, I've been going back and forth with you like a couple of months early. My guess is they won't be putting games like Horizon, Spider-Man on Xbox, even if it's not considered competition anymore. What exactly is the business case for it when Microsoft is ditching their own console? Two things. You're guessing because you're uncertain. Number two, let me go ahead and have this guy basically reassess his claims because again, you can't let these guys. Number two, Xbox is not abandoning consoles. Where did they tell you that? And then let's read the rest of this. It says, even if it's not considered competition anymore, blah, 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 ditching their own consoles. Yeah, right. With Helldivers 2, it makes a lot of sense since it's a game that would appeal to Xbox gamers are playing on their consoles, mostly gas games. Number three, gas is PlayStation's priority. More investment than single player. That's it. So the expectation is higher there. I've said this before. People think the single player games are the real thing. No. They've put pixie dust in the eyes of their most ardent fans to think SP is special. Nah. Gas is financially special. You see, these guys don't necessarily, I don't think they really understand how to actually read PlayStation's business. And this is their biggest, analytical flaw. Remember, PlayStation had signaled that they were going to invest 60% of their R&D budget into live service games. Do you understand? They reduce their investment into the single-player games, which are not their biggest money maker. They'll sell on PlayStation and make y'all feel warm inside. Then they'll go to PC and recoup more cost. But the games as a service is the way to go. Plus, Xbox, let me just add this. Plus, Xbox is PC now. So, PlayStation will be playable on Xbox devices and consoles going forward. Checkmate. Simple. This is pretty much the Xbox paradigm right now. They don't care about all this stuff that PlayStation is doing. PlayStation is also hurting themselves by leaving those games on the shelf. So what's PlayStation going to do? They're going to produce more live service games. The ratio is going to change. In fact, it's already changed. You see it? And then more of those live service games are going to go everywhere so that the most ardent fans continue to, enjoy their status. They understand exactly the kind of customers these people are, and they're going to appeal to them in every way, while PlayStation backhandedly makes money from the Xbox gamer via PC. Yes. That's exactly what's going to happen. It's already happening. Thanks for watching the video. Peace out.